As Sarah Palin has now officially taken center stage as the Republican vice presidential nominee, she's got her first big battle on her hands. Palin is now fighting off attacks not from liberals, but from celebrities. Diddy and Lindsay Lohan are just two of the big Hollywood stars sounding off on their blogs. Lindsay says she wants to hear about Palin's policy views and not her daughter's sex life. And there's Diddy, who has a very simple message about John McCain's VP choice.
I had to check in with you to tell you that you are bugging the out.
Also tonight, in a blistering blog on HuffingtonPost.com, Bonnie Fuller, who used to run Star Magazine, says Sarah's pregnant teen daughter, Bristol Palin, is doomed to end up like Britney Spears. Bonnie's blog sparked a fiery debate. Showbiz Tonight's AJ Hammer played referee in the heated discussion between Bonnie, extra correspondent Carlos Diaz, and investigative journalist Jane Velez Mitchell.
Bonnie, I got to start with you. You've been in the celebrity publishing world for a long time now, and in this new blog on Huffington Post, you really go after Sarah Palin and her husband. I'd like to read a bit of what you wrote. Quote, "Just imagine if John McCain and Sarah Palin are elected to 2 terms in office. Bristol's every move as a teen mom will be under scrutiny, Britney style. Sarah and her husband Todd are being just as exploitative of their teenage daughter as any of these celebrity parents have been. Actually, even more so." Bonnie, pretty harsh prediction there. Is that really how you see it going?
Absolutely. I think that you see the examples already. Her mother and Bristol are already featured on the cover of celebrity magazines, OK, People, and Us Weekly. And this look into their lives is not going to stop right here. We've got several months until the election. Bristol is now going to be watched. She and her boyfriend, their relationship will be dissected. Her past will be dissected. Her decisions, her life decisions will be dissected, all for the next few months until the election. If John McCain and her mother are elected, then she's going to be under scrutiny at least for the next 4 years.
You know, if you think about it, this is potentially a lot worse than what happened to the Bush twins when they got into trouble. What do you think, Carlos? Is Bonnie dead on here? The Palins, just like the family of Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan, are going to be these tabloid targets now?
They are. Bonnie's right for the most part, but the thing that she's wrong on is that when you look at Britney Spears or Lindsay Lohan, the moms in that case are the ones that aren't famous. The daughters are famous. In this situation, the mom is famous, and the daughter is the one that's kind of the victim here, from the mom's fame. I do want to address the fact that if she is elected vice president, Sarah Palin, and the daughter, Bristol, has to go through what Britney went through with the paparazzi, it's going to be very interesting to see if the security around her will allow paparazzi to get right in her face, like they do with Britney, because it's a whole different kind of security when you're talking about Secret Service. Yeah,
I'm guessing they will run interference on that front. What do you think, Jane?
Yeah.
Well, I want to clarify something. There's been a big confusion here. People are not attacking Bristol. After appearing on your show yesterday, I was inundated with hate mail saying, "How dare you attack Bristol?" I'm not attacking her. I hope she has a beautiful baby and a wonderful life. I am, however, questioning the judgment of her mother, her father, and the McCain camp in how they handled this delicate situation. They were not forthcoming. They were not forthright. It came out in the form of damage control after rumors swirled on the internet. And I think they were not thinking first of this young woman and how her life might be impacted. They were thinking of politics and the spin they were going to put on it. And that's the wrong focus. This kid should have come first.
No question about that. Bonnie, I want to get back to your blog for a moment, because you actually compare Bristol Palin to other young stars who, for better or worse, have had to deal with some pretty tough times at a very young age. Let me read a little bit more of what you wrote. Quote, "Bristol Palin hasn't been the star of a major kids TV show like Jamie Lynn or Miley Cyrus. She has not chosen a life of celebrity, but now, thanks to her mother's decision to accept the Republican vice presidential candidacy, her private life, her sex life, is as exposed as if she had long been a cover regular on Star or Us Weekly." And this kind of drives home the point that I think Carlos was making a moment ago. So Bonnie, as somebody who used to run Star and Us Weekly, do you think they deserve this level of scrutiny by celebrity magazines? Because we know they're going to get it from the mainstream press.
Well, when you look at the history of the children of presidential and vice presidential candidates, they are brought into the limelight. Just as I said in my blog, her mother's decision brought her into the limelight. The world would not be talking about her pregnancy if her mother was not the running mate of John McCain. And therefore, I mean, if you look at the Bush twins, every time they partied, they were in the paper.
Yeah.
Chelsea Clinton, she didn't look to be in the newspaper, on the news, but she was for many years, and she continued even after her parents left office.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. It is part of the deal. I guess if you're going to do this, you got to know that this is going to be a part of it. We got to move on to this posting by Diddy. Now, Diddy used his video blog to really go off on John McCain's choice of Sarah Palin for VP. Now, he apparently made this video before the big pregnancy bombshell, but he's also got a few, well, shall we call them choice words for John McCain. Charles, would you roll that?
I had to check in with you to tell you that you are bugging the out. Alaska, come on, man. I don't even know if there's any black people in Alaska. John, like, come on. This isn't Sarah. Yo, if you really think that we're gonna let you win this election with these like crazy decisions that you're making, you're bugging.
All right. First of all, Carlos, I'm going to go to you first, but I want to point out to Diddy, just under 25,000 black people in Alaska, just so you know. But what do you think, Carlos? Is he on to something? Do you think that, young people, especially young voters of color, agree with Diddy that, well, in his words, that McCain is bugging?
Well, I think that Diddy is bugging when he wanted to have Michelle Obama run with John McCain. He says that in the blog as well. But he makes a point. 3.7% of the population is black in Alaska. So obviously, Sarah Palin is not used to working with African Americans as much as someone would say from New York or LA or something like that. He makes a point there. But like I said, I mean, they do get MTV in Alaska. So they do know who Diddy is.
I want to move quickly now, Carlos, from Diddy to Lindsay Lohan, another celebrity going off on this choice and what's happened with this choice. On her MySpace blog, she wishes everybody would just stick to the issues. Let me read what she wrote. Quote, "I think the real problems come from the fact that we are taking the focus off of getting to know Sarah Palin and her political views and what she can do to make our country a less destructive place. It's distracting from the real issues, the real everyday problems that the country experiences." Yeah, when did you think that Lindsay Lohan become the voice of reason in this political campaign? Jane Velez Mitchell, a couple of seconds here for you to respond, but she makes a great point, doesn't she?
I disagree with her 100%. I think this has been a jumping off point, this whole issue of her daughter's pregnancy, to discuss a lot of the issues that the Republicans wanted to keep strictly at the Republican convention because they wanted to portray Sarah Palin as this reformer. So now we're learning about her birth control opposition and her opposition to sex education and the fact that she wants to teach creationism in school and all these other issues that would have been below the radar, except for this pregnancy,
no, that
which
makes
brought
a good
it all
point.
out.
That makes a good point. Got to end it there. Bonnie Fuller, Carlos Diaz, Jane Velez Mitchell, thank you.